Hello, I'm Jerry Fort. This is Story Time with Jerry. I haven't done one of these in a long time. This is a request from Jesse. Cesaro. Cesaro is my name. I think that's how you pronounce it. He wanted to hear the story about me losing control on icy roads. So I've told this story before. I don't know if I've told it in this extent, like all my slipping mishaps before all in a row, but I'll tell you just like the ones that I remember. Let's see, the first one happened in, I want to say 86, 87. Might have been 88, I don't know, somewhere around there. I had a 73 Cutlass Salon. I think that's what, I remember it saying Salon on it, and I don't remember for sure the year, but I believe it was 73. I can't find in Google the exact picture of what it looked like, but it had these on the hood. It had on each side of the middle, it had these silver louvers up there. They weren't vents, they were just for decoration. But it was a single exhaust. It had hydraulics in the back. You could open up the trunk and it had a valve. You could put air in it and make the back end come up. So it was cool. Had nice original. It had original rims on it. The back tires were not real fat, but they weren't factory. They were fairly fat, but it wasn't meant for icy roads, in other words. So I worked about I worked at a mall that was about 13 miles away, but I had to get on a highway. So it was a cold winter, and the roads were slick, and they had snow on them. So I'm going along, and I'm being careful, and there was, 2 lanes on this side, then there's a ditch, and then there's the opposite direction traffic going this way, which also had 2 lanes. So that morning there wasn't a whole lot of traffic on the roads, but I was just going along, and all of a sudden my car just started just going sideways, and I started spinning, and then I ended up into the the middle ditch, and I'm like, oh great, now what? And a pickup came by, and he helped me get out, got me back on the road. So I thanked him, and I was going along again. I probably didn't hardly get a mile, and then it did it again. It spinned off and went into the ditch. So I'm like, oh man. So a car came up, pulled up in front of me, or close to where I was, and it was a carload of girls. And they asked me if I needed a ride, and I said, yeah, I work at a mall. I work at a mall, and I told them the name of it, and they said okay, they get in, and I got in, and there were so many girls in there. There was hardly enough room for me to get in there, and they had been drinking the night before, and I guess, or that night, I guess, and it was the next morning, and they were inebriated. And I was like, this is kind of scary, I got these girls, one of them, I'm sure the driver's been drinking too, but, so we had to pull over once. One of the girls had to throw up, and, I was a little nervous, stressed out, from sliding into the ditch for one reason, and then drunk girls for another reason. So they got me to the mall, and I worked out my day and had to leave my car there, and the next day it had melted off enough that my brother-in-law helped me get my car back out and get it back home. I think I had to borrow a car that was good on snow until it blew over. So there was that incident, and then the other time was later on. I worked at a motel, hotel. It was a big hotel, and it was actually a Holiday Inn, and this was probably 89, maybe 90. No, I don't think it was that late. It was still in the 80s, pretty sure. But I was the groundskeeper, pool man groundskeeper. So I was driving my wife's car. She had a '79 Honda hatchback, Honda Accord. Yeah, Honda Accord hatchback. It was a nice little car, 5-speed. So I was driving it, and it was not good on ice, really. I was in the parking lot. The parking lot around the hotel, at least one side of it has an angle like, you know, like a little bit of a hill. And there was a school bus that was parked at the bottom of the hill. They was traveling, going to a basketball tournament, and it just happened to be a girls' basketball team, and they were all loaded on the bus, and I was trying to go around the bus. Okay, when the parking lots are in bad condition, they're slick and they're covered with snow. So here I go, I'm going around the bus, right? Okay, so here's the bus, hear me, you know, I'm going around, and all of a sudden, when I get to the top of it to get around, it just starts, just like my car was a piece of metal and the bus was a magnet. It just went shoo, just like that. I just went right up against the bus, and here's these basketball team girls looking down at me like, what's this guy doing? I think the bus driver and I think a maintenance guy that I worked with, they'll come out and we got a hold of the car, and it's a little car, and plus the ice made it so that it was easy enough. We just pushed it off of the bus, and I went on about my business. I think that was about it. There was another time I had my mom in the car with me, and I was like, I don't know, I was probably 18, 19, somewhere around there. Had a Cutlass Supreme then. I think it was a 70, no, might have been a 75 Cutlass Supreme. We was just going along, and I started spinning in a neighborhood, and I was trying to get control of it, and we slid over into a curb and kind of hit that curb real hard and jerked my mom, you know. And back then we didn't really wear seat belts, you know. That was back in the late 80s. It really wasn't a big thing, and I don't think it was, you know, illegal not to then. I don't remember for sure, but jerked her neck a little bit, you know. She hurt her neck. I felt really bad that I didn't go slower, you know, but I was young. But you know, that was so many years ago. After that, I mean, I had cars, vans that were better on snow and ice, and didn't have any trouble with them after that. But that was really it. That was my slipping and sliding stories. Not really that big a deal. But hope you enjoyed it, and thank you all for listening. And hope you don't mind hearing the story again. It's been a while since I told this story, but okay. Well, thanks for listening. Like I said, and I'll see you all on the next one. Hopefully, I don't have any more of those type of incidents happening. But winter's here, so never know.